Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 12 based on novel. So let's start. Qingyang City, Liu Mansion, the Hall of Deliberation. Arrogant and wanton laughter echoed constantly in the hall. In addition to the two people in the hall, Liu Huabai, who was attracted by the white cat, and Liu Xincheng, others were frightened. These three people are really not what his Liu family can compete with. At least, without Xiao Yang, his Liu family can't compete with it. After the laughter, the six-star Dozuan looked at Liu Huabai with a sneer. His eyes were full of sarcasm. Liu Huabai, however, narrowed his eyes slightly, tilted his head slightly to the left, looked at him blandly, turned his head slightly and looked at the elder. The elder noticed Liu Huabai's eyes, moved his mouth slightly, and took a faint arc of unknown meaning. Then he shook his head slightly and ignored it. Liu Huabai's eyes shifted to the six-star Dozuan again. His eyes narrowed and the corners of his mouth turned up, revealing a smile that didn't look so harmonious. This also made the six-star Dozuan frown slightly. He turned his head and looked at the other two Dozuan strong men beside him. He didn't express any meaning, but Liu Huabai's voice suddenly came. "You are the strongman of Qingyun Mansion. You must have come to the southwest border to find the newly advanced Dozuan strongman? Hee. Unfortunately, my Liu family doesn't have it. As for the strongman in your mouth, I don't know where it is." As soon as these words came out, the three strong men of Qingyun Mansion suddenly shot their eyes at Liu Huabai and stared at Liu Huabai. The head of the six-star Dozuan narrowed his eyes, gave a cold hum and said, "Master Liu, I think it's better for you to be honest. The strong man, but he moved into your Liu house in full view of Qingyang City. Now you say you don't know. Do you think the three of me are fools?" These words are not light or heavy, but when the voice came out, everyone felt that the pressure belonging to the strong fighter spread all over the hall in an instant, making everyone feel out of breath. Hum. A cold hum came out. In the hall, everyone except the two fighting giants suddenly changed their complexion and began to turn red. Even their breathing was a little heavy. Liu Huabaiqiang's face was flushed, and the veins on his forehead burst. He endured the pressure, bit his teeth and said with difficulty, "You've done this, but it's a little too late. The elder has indeed come to my Liu family, but if the strong do things, do you still need to give me Liu Huabai? A small family leader can't ask for instructions. That elder, don't say I don't know where he lives at the moment, even if I know and fear, you can't help him." The six-star Dozuan of Qingyun Mansion could not help frowning when he heard this. It's hard not to wonder if the man really has the ability to win the support of the Liu family. The first old man quickly exchanged his eyes with the other two. The six-star Dozuan once again gave a cold hum. Everyone looked at the three people breathlessly and dared not relax at all. However, everyone didn't notice that the big white cat lying quietly on the cushion nodded at the moment. A pair of bright eyes looked at Liu Huabai, closed them again, and fell asleep, as if everything in the hall had nothing to do with it. Liu Huabai took a deep breath, his eyes were dull again, smiled, looked at the six-star Dozuan, and said with a smile, "Ha ha. Since you have come all the way, you must not only come for my Liu family, but also for the Wu family. The ancestor of the Wu family is really extraordinary. It is indeed a great blessing to break through at this age." At this point, Liu Huabai's original boastful tone turned again, paused slightly, and continued. "It's a pity that although the strength has increased, people are confused. Anyone dares to provoke me. Knowing that the elder stays in my Liu family, he still wants to break through without knowing the greatness of heaven and earth. As a result, it's not easy to cultivate his strength and show his skill. That's it. Tut. Life is really fragile." Liu Huabai sighed, but he looked at the six-star Dozuan again, and then said, "Your Excellency, don't worry about your own life. All blessings can be enjoyed with life. If life is gone, even if there is wealth in space, what can we do?" The six-star Dozuan snorted coldly when he heard the speech. The two strong Dozuan beside him looked at it and frowned slightly. Such a situation is not what they want to see. As soon as the Wu family dies out, this Qingyang city becomes a situation dominated by the Liu family. In the future, the Liu family will rise. At that time, the Liu family will certainly reap a lot of benefits. The ultimate purpose of the three people coming to Qingyang City this time is to suppress the Liu family and let the Liu family promise that they can hand over part of the benefits and resources they get in the future to them, but now it seems that the Liu family wants to refuse. In this way, didn't they come here in vain? They have been guarding outside Qingyang City for many days. They are afraid to come in because they are aware of the terrible smell of Xiao Yang. Until a few days ago, the three couldn't detect Xiao Yang's breath. For the sake of insurance, the three also endured for a few days before they came in. Unexpectedly, now they are defeated by the mysterious strong man. The three looked at each other for a few times. After a long time, the six-star Dozuan finally raised his head and looked at Liu Huabai, who was sitting in the main position. His eyes were domineering and fierce, full of violence. I was almost frightened by you. What a Liu family master. What a Liu family. How dare you tease me? Scare me with a waist that has already escaped. I'm really afraid of a bear-heart leopard. Liu Huabai, you have to give me a satisfactory explanation today anyway. Otherwise. The six-star Dozuan had a violent face, a fierce complexion and a violent surge of murderous qi. He just wanted to continue to talk, but he suddenly lost his temper. The whole person stood in place, sweating cold on his head, and he didn't dare to give a look. His eyes were full of horror. What else do you want? Kill the Liu family? Kill the fleeing waste you said? Or, catch the torture slowly and let the Liu family see how waste they are, the savior? A little six-star Dozuan dares to say such a big story. I really don't know why life and death. As soon as they said this, their faces suddenly changed. With a bang, they knelt down together and kowtowed to admit their mistakes. Why? Don't you want to do it to me now? A cold hum came out, and the whole room was silent. No one dared to make a sound. In the middle of the hall, three old men in white robes knelt down in the hall and kowtowed to admit their mistakes. After hearing this, the leading six-star fighter suddenly contracted his pupils, and the whole person couldn't help shaking. After a good moment, he trembled and said word by word. The elder. I'm joking. How dare the younger three dare to have this, such bold and presumptuous thoughts. The elder has great strength. How dare the later three touch something? The six-star Dozuan swallowed his saliva. His words were difficult and his breathing was tense, but he was very slow. It seemed that he was afraid to annoy the senior master. The man heard a sneer, which made the whole hall shake 3 times. The hall shook and brought down a lot of old accumulated dust from the beam. The dust fell. The whole hall was like fairy dust and clouds scattered in the world in an instant. However, it is very strange that the falling dust fell on the 3 strong men of Qingyun Mansion, and the eyebrows of the people looking at it are straight. When the dust fell, the hall was clear. Take a breath. I didn't feel the dust floating in the air. I felt very fresh. The carpet in the main hall looks clean without any trace of dust. If you look carefully, you will find some new clues. At the moment, the carpet is not only not dirty, but also much cleaner than the original. The whole carpet looks very bright, just like new. Everyone's eyes swept around. In the end, except Liu Huabai and Liu Xincheng, everyone else's eyes were red, and the glittering and translucent water flowed around the bottom of their eyes. It was almost a small opportunity to burst into tears. Even Liu Huabai and Liu Xincheng, although there are not many changes on their faces, if they look carefully, they can clearly see that their cheeks are telling everyone the mood in their hearts at the moment. In the field, the only thing that couldn't laugh was the 3 people in Qingyun Mansion who knelt in the center of the hall and trembled for some reason. At the moment, the 3 people, just from the appearance, were extremely funny. They knelt in the hall, and their clothes and robes had no color for a long time. On the back, a layer of dust as thick as snow covered the whole back. All 3 people were disheartened and looked embarrassed. If you look up and down from the 3 people at the moment, you can't see anyone. You can only see 3 mounds of earth paved in the main hall. At the moment, the 3 people were livid, clenched their teeth, made bursts of creaking noises in their mouths, knelt on the ground with angry faces, and their eyes were full of unwilling colors. Boom! A strong wind suddenly shot in front of the 3 people. The 3 people looked surprised and hurried to get up and fight to meet them. Bang! Hearing a dull noise, the 3 were thrown out of the hall and rolled on the ground in embarrassment, which finally stopped them. The figure stopped, and the 3 stood up. The head of the 6-star Dozuan, with red eyes, stared at the fog-shrouded hall, roared and asked, "Elder, what do you mean? You've played tricks on the 3 of me, and you even want to kill us? You really lose your name. Hey, boy, I'm brave. I just wanted to help you get rid of the dust, but unexpectedly, you 3 got up and went back to block." As soon as he said this, everyone turned his mouth. According to the posture of the strong wind just now, it was clear that he meant to kill the 3 of them. At the moment, it's strange for others to resist. There's no reason to be unprepared at the moment of life and death. Who knows you're not going to kill them? If you really want to kill them, but you don't resist, you'll lose your life in vain. Who would do such a stupid thing? Even Liu Huabai and Liu Xincheng looked at each other and didn't speak. The three elders of Qingyun Mansion also twitched in the corners of their eyes when they heard the speech. They were blamed for this. Before the three people reacted, the mysterious elder said again, "Alas Tilda, but you can stop it. You even slander the good people and say that I don't deserve the name of this elder and have no sense of benevolence and righteousness. Now tell me, do I deserve it or not?" Heh! As soon as the voice fell, the whole audience was quiet. The three fighters in Qingyun Mansion felt an inexplicable pressure and rushed towards them. In an instant, it enveloped the three people, so that they felt an unparalleled terrorist pressure on their hearts and were shocked. The pupil of the leading six-star Dozuan suddenly contracted to the size of the tip of a needle. Regardless of the look on the two faces around him, he hurried to say, "You deserve your reputation. You should eliminate those unruly people for Qingyun Mansion, stick to righteousness and help the poor and the weak. You deserve your name." These words are awe-inspiring and benevolent, but they all turn their heads to one side and don't look at him anymore. The six-star Do is also a red face, and his face is slightly fevered, but his eyes are slightly turned, and what he says is not much. After a good movie, the elder opened his mouth again and said with a smile, "Ha ha. In that case, I'll forget it. Just compensate me for what you scolded me earlier, okay?" Hearing the speech, the three quickly smiled and nodded in agreement. Seeing this, the elder immediately said with a smile, "Then, I don't want much. I'm sure you can't get anything good. I'll be kind. Just give me a 500,000 spirit coin." This sentence was very indifferent, but when everyone heard it, they all had a crazy twitch in their face. Take 500,000 spirit coins casually. What is this spirit coin for? Is it so worthless? Everyone was speechless. What's more, I have to count the three Dozuan strong men of Qingyun Mansion. They look at each other and shake their heads for a while. 500,000 ling coins, which is astronomical for any of them, even if the three of them take them together, the pressure is not small at all. The three of them said a few words, but finally they frowned and looked helpless. After a while, the six-star fighter bit his lips and said slowly, "Elder, this 500,000 spirit coin is indeed too much." That's too much. I don't think you want to. The three people are only 500,000 in total. Compared with your small life, I'm very kind. When they heard the speech, their faces trembled violently. The three fighters of Qingyun Mansion were silent for a while. Merciful, he also dares to say this sentence. It's good for them to have more than 100,000 spirit coins. It still depends on years of accumulation, but this guy is 500,000 as soon as he exports. What does he think of spirit coins? The three people looked at each other, frowned tightly, and their mood changed rapidly, but there was still no way after all. After hesitating for a long time, the six-star fighter had to summon up his courage and speak to the mysterious elder. The elder and the younger generation are really poor in financial resources and can't get so many spirit coins. The sum of the spirit coins of the three of us is only 370,000. I hope the elder can give the younger generation some time. I'll quickly go back to Qingyun Mansion to get the spirit coins and send them to the elder as soon as possible. Do you think I will believe you? Can I come back after I leave? When the angry voice came, the three suddenly felt cold all over, and their bodies couldn't help shaking violently. Just wanted to answer, the voice came again. "Okay, I'm upset when I see you. Go away. If you dare to make trouble in the Liu family again, there's no next time." Hearing the speech, the three quickly kowtowed and thanked, quickly turned around and wanted to leave, but the mysterious voice sounded again. "Wait, leave the spirit coin." Hearing the speech, the three dared not neglect it anymore. After leaving the ling coin, they immediately left Liu's house, left Qingyang City and ran for their lives to Qingyun's house. In the discussion hall of the Liu family, Liu Huabai and Liu Xincheng sent the people back. They also knew what they were going to do, so they quickly withdrew from the hall and dispersed. They turned their heads, but their eyes were frozen. There was no trace of the white cat in the hall. The hall was empty and silent. There was no other person. Only the cushion with some warm breath was still lying quietly on the ground. Liu Huabai shook his head and came forward to pick up the cushion, but his eyes were slightly frozen. A few wisps of white hair were left on the cushion. Liu Huabai didn't pay too much attention, but when he wanted to pick up the cushion, he seemed to suddenly find something. I saw those white hairs that seemed to fall, whether intentionally or unintentionally, formed a sentence. The meaning of the sentence made Liu Huabai show a happy smile. I saw that sentence right. Yes, you Liu family deserve his help. I'm optimistic about you. The Liu family affair has come to an end, but one more thing has just begun. Here is a mountain range with undulating mountains, just like a giant beast crawling on the ground. Bursts of animal roars set off the wilderness of the mountain. The mountain fog filled the air. It was strange that the fog was red. Where the fog is strong, there are pools of water stains left on the ground, but the color of those water stains is also so gloomy. Because the pools of water stains are also red. When the dark wind hunts, the pools of water stains and waves blow everywhere, and waves of water spread, forming the shape of ordinary smiling faces. With the bright red, it looks very evil. Brush. In the forest, the dense fog was torn apart, leaving a vacuum space. Soon, it closed again. A figure has flashed for a long time in less than 1,000th of the time just now. A few hours later, deep in the mountains, at the end of the bloody fog, before a small valley, a figure with a ferocious mask, shrouded in black fog, emerged. Under the mask, a pair of shadowy old eyes looked at the valley and looked down. They were not very strong black fog. A look of resentment appeared in their eyes. After a good film, the figure, surrounded by black fog, moved and ran towards the valley, leaving a bitter oath. Xiao Yan, when I find you next time and finish the task, I will break you into pieces and avenge my serious injury. This person is the old devil who escaped when Xiao Yang didn't pay attention. After a while, the old devil came to a dark hall. 100 feet away from the hall, an energy shield that can be seen from the inside out is protecting the whole hall. Outside, there is no difference between here and those mountains. Looking at the dark door, the Yang devil old ghost showed a smile at the corners of his mouth, his hands changed rapidly, and mysterious printing formulas were sacrificed by him. The surface of the dark gate shimmered. Only a moment later, the gate opened in a creak. A dark passage appeared in front of the Yenmore old ghost. The passage is extremely dark. It seems that even the space in it is dark and viscous. At a glance, there is a sense of fear from the depths of the soul. It seems that it is not a passage to the depths of the hall, but a yellow spring road to the nether hell, which makes people's soul tremble and tremble. The old devil took a deep breath and looked at the dark passage with his dark eyes open. Even though he walked many times, whenever he saw the dark passage, he would gush a strong sense of death from the bottom of his heart. If it were not for the past, the normal experience of taking this channel would still remind him in his mind. I'm afraid that at the moment, he would have turned and fled. Calm down, take a deep breath again, then spit it out slowly, roll your throat and swallow a mouthful of saliva. The heavy steps slowly stepped forward and walked towards the dark passage. When he entered the hall, the door closed slowly in a creak. And here, it has also turned into a dark forest, which is no different from other places. A burst of heavy footsteps sounded, a dark passage and a figure gradually appeared. This person is the old devil. Hua la la. With the sound of gold and iron, the whole body was dark one by one, and the cable chain engraved with mysterious seal characters locked the exit of the channel in an instant. Several figures, dressed in black and unable to see their faces, appeared at the entrance of the channel, holding a chain in their hands, ready to deal with emergencies. The figure appeared from the passage. As soon as they saw it, they flashed and disappeared in place with the chain. The Yang devil old ghost didn't pay attention to the people who disappeared. It was obvious that he had been very clear about these for a long time. The Yenmore old ghost breathed out a breath, and his eyes were a little afraid. He turned his head and looked at the dark channel. He did not speak, but walked softly toward the middle of the temple. At the same time, a mountain far from here, an old man in green clothes with white hair and beard was smiling easily. He looked at several green mountains in the distance, smiled and sighed. I'm Yuan Qing, finally back. A vast mountains, a bloody fog, a dark forest. Tap tap tap. Accompanied by a burst of footsteps with compact rhythm, a dark hall and a figure wrapped in black fog are moving forward slowly. The hall was dark, and the vision was even less than 10 feet. The figure looked straight ahead and was indifferent to the endless darkness. There was no wave in his eyes. The seemingly gentle pace is extremely fast. A hall of Nuo University has come to the end in only a moment. The old devil stopped and looked up to the front. The front was still as dark as ever, without a trace of light. Everything here looks so empty. The body leans forward slightly, and the steps continue to step forward. After a while, the old devil stopped again and looked around. It turned out to be another dark channel. The dark space makes people wonder whether it's an illusion or what's going on. The space here is incredibly dense. There is a sticky feeling. Even breathing, there is a feeling like inhaling water into the lungs. The old devil took a deep breath of the viscous air and slowly spit it out. When he was about to open his mouth, another old voice came first. "Yang devil, old ghost. Why did you come back?" As soon as the voice fell, he gave another light sigh and said, "Hey, I think your blood and chi are vain and your soul is weak. None of your men have survived. Won't you be hurt by the old guy Yuanqing?" The old devil snorted coldly when he heard the speech, twisted his neck angrily and replied, It would be nice if it were just Yuanqing. If so, I can kill him that day." The man who didn't know where he was raised his eyebrows slightly and said again, "Oh, so the young man still has help. Did they send someone again?" He shook his head, frowned and said, "But it shouldn't be. If they send someone over, the headquarters will certainly tell us, but it doesn't look like it." Well, I won't tell you first. I'll go to the temple lord first. After I meet the temple lord, the lord of the temple will tell you." With that, he was about to step inside the channel, but suddenly stopped. A black figure wrapped in black robes appeared in front of the Yang devil old ghost. The figure in black gave a sneer and smiled at the old devil. "Lord of the temple, is it what you want to see? Lord of the temple has already told me that he wants to shut down. If it doesn't take a few months, you will never see him." Then he smiled and glanced at the old devil and continued, "What's more, the Lord of the temple just closed the door 10 days ago and said that there was no big event. Don't disturb him. You should also know the Lord's temper. You want to see, do you think it's possible?" After hearing this, the old devil was relieved of his nervousness. He knew the temple lord's temper. Once it was exported, no one could violate it. But at this moment, as long as there was a sentence behind him, even if it was to disturb the temple lord's retreat, the temple lord was determined not to punish him. Therefore, the old devil looked at the figure in black robe in front of him with a sneer on his face and slowly said, "In that case, please make way for me. I have something urgent to report to the hall lord." When the figure in black robe heard the speech, the eyebrows under the black robe frowned tightly, snorted coldly, and said, "I don't believe it. What's the big deal that can make you provoke the lord of the temple like this? Are you really afraid of death?" The last words spit out by the black-robed man bite very hard, which makes people uncomfortable. But the old devil sneered and said, "Death? I advise you to get out of the way as soon as possible, otherwise, when the time passes, it may not be who will die. But be careful of your old life and don't be scared in the end." The man in black raised his head fiercely when he heard the speech, and his anger rose in his cloudy eyes. With a heavy cold the figure of the black-robed man flashed and disappeared in front of the Yang devil old ghost. The old devil gave a sneer, raised his feet and went to the inside of the channel. A moment later, the old devil finally came out of the dark passage. His face looked numb. The old devil appeared in an empty hall, which was very different from the outside. Just like, one is the nether world and the other is the ancient fairyland. Here, the first thing that comes into view is a layer of misty white fog, which has been lingering in the hall, like a fairy spirit. With the dark passage behind the Yenmore old ghost, it's like going to a different world. The walls of the hall are all made of crystal white jade, which emits white light. You can see that this jade is not ordinary. In the center of the hall, there are 3 transparent and colorless light groups hanging in the air, emitting yin light to illuminate the whole hall. The light mass looks ordinary, as if it is only used for light. But in terms of the bursts of energy fluctuations emitted from it, this light mass is by no means ordinary. If Xiao Yan was here, he could recognize at a glance that all the 3 light groups were the source of the soul collected by the former soul hall. The white mist is also emitted by these 3 light masses. Those white mists are the source of pure soul. However, the old devil seems to be used to these. However, from his dark eyes, the color of greed showed at the moment still spoke of his desire for the origin of these souls. Suddenly, a voice filled with rage came, which made the whole hall vibrate slightly. "Yang devil, don't you know that the lord of the temple is close? How dare you disturb me at this time? You can't kill me." As soon as he said this, the old devil suddenly regained his mind, with a look of panic on his face, calmed down, and hurried to say, "When I returned to the hall lord, my subordinates didn't dare to disturb the hall lord's closed-door practice, but what my subordinates had to report this time. For us, it's really important without any delay. Therefore, my subordinates dared to disturb the Hall Lord's closed door. I hope the Hall Lord will forgive me. The owner of the voice frowned and took a deep breath when he heard the speech. It was not until after the good film was carved that he gave a cold hum and a loud roar of dissatisfaction. Say, if it's not a big deal, I'll kill you. As soon as he said this, the old devil suddenly felt that the temperature around him had dropped sharply and became extremely cold, but he was not afraid of it. The old devil looked up confidently, looked straight ahead, and said word by word, Hall Lord, Xiao Yan, has arrived. This video will end here.